Behind the Shades.
Rachel, I'm gonna go. Actually, I want to have a really, really good introduction because this is one lady who has been with me from the beginning, I think. So, welcome to an amazing, amazing person, Rachel. How are you doing today?
Oh, Train, that's sweet. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been fun kind of watching your journey and being a part of it and getting to come and pop in and have these conversations, watching the evolution of your life and your biz. And same with me, right? Things are just ever changing and flowing. So glad to be here again to have a chat.
Absolutely. I don't know for you, but it's been a crazy year. A lot of highs, a lot of lows, especially in Canada here. But catch us up to
Mm.
speed. What have you been up to, and what's going on in the beautiful world of Rachel Grant?
All right, all right. Well, I forget when the last time was that we talked. Do you remember? I don't remember.
10 years ago.
Um, it's so silly. Well, today has been a big year of personal milestones. My mom died in February. And then this fall, my 9-year relationship came to completion. And so we are, kind of navigating that transition of, how to be maybe friends. I don't know. That's a whole topic, right? I feel like there's just no clear answer when it comes to those things. Left on good terms for good reasons, but it's a big transition when you've had a daily with someone for 9 years and to kind of move into that. So those have been okay. All right, 2023. Like, yeah, that was a lot. And it's also been as I've been navigating those losses and just the challenges, like the whole process of, completing a relationship and all the different feelings and the communication and all that. I really drew on my Beyond Surviving toolkit, right? Everything that I teach my clients ultimately, while they are tools that supported me in healing from sexual trauma, they're also just, I always say to my clients, right? It's a Beyond Surviving lifestyle. How do we use these strategies to release trauma, but also then continue to live, from an empowered place and as life throws things at us as things happen, right? To be able to navigate that. So I've been really thankful in that way. To have those tools and that skill set. It would not be the same if I were going through any of this, years and years ago. It'd be a much harder process. And of course, leaning on my community and being able to do that. So those are some big, tough changes. Some things I've been working on this year that have been really interesting is doing some trainings with a detention center in North Carolina, so a women's detention center, and partnering with CPTSD Foundation and Brave Step organization, Karagende organization. So just starting to move more into collaboration with nonprofits to bring my workshops to their communities. So that's been really, edifying, doing more kind of teaching and workshops, and then just continuing my one-on-one work in my group. But as I look ahead to 2024, I've really declared it, honey, as like the year of easy. It's got to be like, if it ain't easy, I ain't doing it. So I'm just I can really feel myself in this energetic pause, sort of like around business and relationships, and just wanting next year to be just super, super simple, not really pressing too much or striving too much, but just letting things flow. So that's a little bit about where I'm at. How about you? What's been going on?
Well, it's been interesting year, similar to yours. I know the last time we spoke about our family, how you had your situation with your mother, and I had mine with both my parents. So it's been one full year since they both got sick, one with cancer and the one with something else. And
Mm-hmm.
we've had to make a number of changes. And one thing that I realize is that my fancy, well, a car's not fancy, but a fancy car, a big house, and things of that nature, it doesn't really mean as much as the connection that, in a way, that I could have lost with both of my parents. So it was a year of reflection, and to your point, it was a year that I wanted to be easy. So what I did was I didn't fly anywhere. I just drove. I drove and I drove and I drove and I drove and I drove. It reminded me of like those old school 90s movies where you have the couple here and they get into an argument and the man runs out, he just jumps in his car, he just drives, right? And he sees these beautiful sceneries. It was like,
Yeah.
the terrain story. But one thing I found about myself was I pulled from the strength of the woman that I was working with in the charity that I assist, and to hear their success stories inspired me to know that despite everything that I was going through, there was people who were there looking to me for support and who didn't realize maybe that their success was keeping me going because sometimes the shoulders that we have, they're not strong enough to carry the load that we're trying to carry. So it was definitely
Yeah.
a interesting and thought and heartfelt year for me, 2023.
I see. I see. How's the fam now? Where are they at health wise?
They're both well. So my mother went back to work and she loves it. Right. It's like it
Okay.
was that missing thing in her
Mhm.
life. My dad, his
Yeah.
health wasn't as bad, even though it lasted, well, cancer in a way is forever, right? But
Okay.
the what he was going through lasted. We didn't figure out what it was. He just it could have been like old age and just catching up with him.
Mm,
But both
mm,
turned to work as a way to kind of get back into their routine. And there were some changes that had to be made from a health perspective, from a diet perspective, and just being active. But one thing that they realize is that the support when they were healthy was different than the support when they were unhealthy. And they began to realize certain things, which kind of made them sad in a way, but also it was enlightening for them.
I see. Kind of like the who weathers the storms with you and who falls away, kind of that kind of a thing they went through. Yeah, I can relate to that for sure, for sure, for sure. Are you the only child? I don't think I've ever asked you that if you have siblings.
Yes, yeah. So I'm not the only child. I'm the oldest of three. So it's myself, my
Okay.
sister, and my brother. Um, but there was a coming together that I haven't seen since I was like maybe in my teenage years. So it was good to see like the rallying of the immediate family
Yeah.
members.
That's good, that's good. Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, I'm thinking about, I have a friend right now who's he's about 78 and going through a lot of, life transitions and just watching, there's just so much isolation and it's tough, right? And I've had to kind of start to build my team to support me and supporting him. And yeah, just kind of thinking about this theme that's showing up a little bit, like how when it's like this ladder of support, right? So we have people who are leaning on us, right? And needing our support and our mentorship. And then when we're a wreck or where we're feeling challenged, right? Where do we lean? And do we have that in place? And then do we have those support systems around us? It's so critical. And I know there was a time in my life where, certainly as a result of abuse, I just was very, very isolated. I just didn't really have much capacity for asking for support. I had a lot of internal belief systems like I'm all on my own. I've got to handle this by myself that were really born out of those younger days that then I just carried into my teen years and my young adult years and then da 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 da. And then along the way, I really started to challenge that. It actually was born out of me going through a divorce and holding that for like 6 months before I even told my best friend. And, when I finally did speak up to her about it, ooh, she let me have it, but she let me have it in a way that helped me to see the way that that was dysfunctional, that it wasn't a gift or it wasn't me being gracious or kind. I was like, "Oh, I'm such a good person. I don't burden anyone with my problems."